Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. Welcome back to Ham Radio Live. This is just a weather segment to update you on current conditions today for the HF bands. Here's your A1A, and you can take a look at how conditions are kind of rotating away from Earth. Everything on the left side would be called the east limb of the sun. The right side is the west limb, right? So we're seeing sunspot regions moving either little past center to off of the sun to areas that are just coming in. I expect SFIs to drop just a little more here, and then we're going to get a little rebound. Backside the sun, here is what we have currently. That squared, that little rectangle area is going to be a new sunspot region, but this really illustrates the reason why we're probably going to see decreasing conditions coming up on the amateur radio bands. Again, this isn't a normal ham radio live show. This is just going to cover solar weather today because that's what I have the time to do. Here is the last 5 days of your magnetosphere view, and this would be taking all of the brightness away from the sun and focusing only on the sunspot regions and their movement. You can see the moving from left to right, which would be the east limb of the sun over to the west limb. And here is today's conditions. 3 days of solar flare detection. You got 4 sunspot regions facing Earth. If you take a close look at this, you can see why we got the bump yesterday, which raised our SFI. Happened late in the day yesterday. And then going into today, you see things kind of below that sea level line. That's why I think we're going to see a lower SFI coming tomorrow. Well, actually, it'll be here today about 1 p.m., but it's not going to be a huge drop. Today, currently, SFI is 126, up 7 from yesterday. Smooth sunspot numbers at 84, that's up 25. Area numbers up to 190, that's up 80 from yesterday. Good conditions. This will be a good day to turn your amateur radio bands on for HF for sure. Noise floors are quiet. This is great conditions. KP1, KP 1 or 2, these are quiet conditions. These will help you hear those rare and weak DX signals to make good calls. And with the SFI being as high as it is, you have just enough there to be able to make some outstanding calls on the amateur radio bands. Next 3 days, geomagnetic activity. You see, we're going to be fairly quiet today. Then we're going to drop even more tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, and then on Thursday we're going to elevate again, which could mean a noise floor raise somewhere between an S2 and an S3 coming up for Thursday. Current QRZ conditions today, SFI 126, sunspot numbers at 50, BZ latitude is a minus 2.7. Expect some QS Baker on the bands today simply because of the negative pointing Bravo Zulu latitude here. Solar wind is just quiet enough to not be alarming. It's at 483.9 kilometers per second. EME degree is fair today, and I have seen some 6-meter E-skip openings relatively every now and then here on the QRZ conditions. So monitor 6 today. You might get some good E-skip on 6. Kilo Charlie 2 Golf map. Current, this is great conditions, and it shows exactly why today is a great day to work HF. If you're a technician, you get that area on 10 meters. The only place HF voice is available to you with the technician license. You'll make calls today between 28.3 megahertz and 28.5 megahertz. Look at these conditions. Currently up in Fairbanks, 23, 22 if you're in Anchorage, 28 right about the U.S.-Canadian border in the west. Now, in the east, if you're up near Montreal or Toronto, you're already on the 10-meter band. 27 megahertz in the Great Lakes, 30 New England, 28 around Washington, D.C., 29 the Panhandle of Florida, 26 Brownsville, Texas, 27 Denver, 28 right on the Bitterroot Range, and 28 also in Southern California. And that goes straight south. Look at South America, 36 megahertz North Brazil, 42 Sao Paulo, going all the way into Argentina and Peru. 10 meters wide open. In Europe, you should have the same conditions tomorrow. 10 meters probably up as far north as southern Sweden and southern Norway. Current conditions, 19 Great Britain, 18 in France, 18 in Spain, 16 megahertz in North Italy, 15 in Sicily, 15 also in Greece, and 12 megahertz if you're in Bulgaria. Far East today, 13 megahertz currently in Japan. You're going to see the 10-meter band coming here within the next couple of hours. As daylight shines into the Australian continent, 17 megahertz currently in Brisbane. If you're a little north there around Townsville, 14 megahertz, 14 as well as you head towards Canberra, and Tasmania currently at 11. You will get 10 meters in those areas today, as well as both the North and South Islands of New Zealand. Your ham and shortwave forecast powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. SFIs to remain over 110 this week. I think we're going to see a little drop today and then a rebound tomorrow. I think that's what we're going to see. Noise floors, I know this is a big number, but we're talking about the coming week, all right? S0 to S4 at times. I think tonight you're going to be an S0 to S1. Tomorrow, S0 to S1 at times, and then coming up Thursday, S2 to S3. That's what it looks like. Voice bands north, mid, and south latitudes, 20, 17, 15, 12 in the 10-meter band. Data modes will work great, 30 to 10 meters for people who love to run FT8, FT4, JT65, and all the digital modes. CB radio skip for CB listeners here on the show should be wide open for you today on 11 meters in the north, mid, and south latitude. Great day to work your amateur radio or your citizens band radio. On the amateur radio bands in the evening tonight, don't forget about 17 and 20 meters. Both are excellent at sunset, and you'll make great calls that way. Seriously. Noise floor is relatively quiet today, getting quieter tomorrow, and then bouncing up again Thursday, but still reasonable. Nighttime ham band openings here, 160, 80, 60, 40, 30. Remember your best DX on your maximum usable frequency at sunset. Then work your lower bands till you reach 40 and 80 meters overnight. Shortwave listeners, your daytime bands, 31, 25, 22, and 19. And the SFI is high enough that you may also get some 41 meters during the day as well. Listen for that on your shortwave radio. Nighttime shortwave bands, decent SFI, helps DX this week. Noise floors S0 to S4 at times for the week. That's the next 7 days. The next 3 days, S0 to S1 today, maybe S2 today. Tomorrow for sure, S0 to S1. And then on Thursday, S2 to S3. So increasing noise floors, but not too bad coming up here on Thursday. Shortwave bands nighttime 120, 90, 75, 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, and 100% of the 19-meter band in the northern hemisphere for about 30 minutes after sunset, and the southern hemisphere, because they're getting more daylight down there, you should get the 19-meter band for about an hour after sunset, and the signals will fade away. Today's solar ranking in 8. We just need a positive BZ latitude. It'd be nice to have a little higher SFI to bring it up to a solid 10. This is just a simple show to be able to do solar weather, because that's what I have time to do today, because I'm taking care of a sick brother. Folks, thank you for listening. I'm trying to leave you with something of value. All of you for coming from around the world. And believe me, I see all of you, and I thank you for being here. It's just I want to keep this weather segment within a reasonable amount of time. God bless you. Thanks for watching Ham Radio Live. We'll be with a new show tomorrow. The full show will be here tomorrow. Until then, goodbye, everybody.